John, thank you. I heard you doing very well in your race.
Oh my God!
That's what the word is.
The president is speaking. Everybody salute in chat. Oh my God! It's the president.
And Ashley, I know you're doing very well also. Ashley Moody, Florida.
Ashley,
Great.
you're so fucking
As
beautiful.
well as Representatives Stephanie Bice, Zach Nunn, and Craig Goldman. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all. You look good. We're joined by Kroger CEO.
I love Kroger. They're making all
Greg
the
Farr.
breakfast
Where's
foods.
Greg? Very good. You look like Central Casting. Just like you're supposed to look. Fairway Store CEO Reynolds Kramer.
Right here, Mr. President.
Hello, Reynolds.
Hello there.
Maybe I won't look around every time. Why Not Stop CEO and co-owner Ann Guthier. Because it's Ann, I'm going to. Columbiana Foods co-owner Ron Graff Sr.
Right here. Right behind.
Hello, Ron. Neiman Foods President Richard Neiman.
Right here, sir.
Hi, Richard. Piggy.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Well, that's a nice, Piggly Wiggly franchise owner. And that's a big company, too. How's that name playing? Good?
Piggly Wiggly, doing great.
Piggly Wiggly. I've heard that, actually. That's great. Franchise owner, Kevin. So you met Kevin. And Food Fresh owner, Michael Gay.
Yay!
And this is a
Okay, that was class.
very
Michael Gay.
large-scale retailer.
He's a homosexual.
Under the Biden administration, the so-called technology transition rule, which was crazy, forced companies
crazy.
to adopt specific high-cost refrigerants, massively driving up the price of transporting and storing refrigerants and various goods. Many grocery stores and restaurants had no choice but to replace their refrigerators entirely. They went out of business, half of them. And these costs rose. Americans faced higher grocery prices and reduced access to critical medical supplies. It was a very catastrophic thing that they did. At the same time, this rule also drove up the cost of living by forcing consumers to purchase higher cost residential air conditioning units.
I love when he reads and he has no fucking idea what the fuck he's talking about. I love pre-scripted Trump.
They went up very substantially in cost, and also they were going to be obsolete very quickly. It created national security risk by adding additional hurdles to the already complicated process of manufacturing semiconductors. So it was a mess. Likewise, the so-called emissions rule imposed crippling leak repair requirements on virtually all existing large-scale refrigeration systems, hurting consumers and small businesses, making it almost impossible for many small businesses to even buy inferior equipment. And this is all across the country. The higher cost threatened thousands of jobs and was passed on in the form of higher prices and higher taxes. Today's reforms will deliver significant financial relief, saving American families and businesses more than $2.4 billion.
Thank you, Floey. Chloe, you're looking fantastic.
Think of that each year.
You get a
to today's
refrigerator.
reforms, the American people have lower grocery prices, cheaper transportation of goods, lower cost of air conditioning, at no detriment at all to our country. My administration's historic deregulatory agenda has already saved our country an estimated $1.2 trillion. That's been done over a relatively short period of time. We're committed to fixing Biden's disastrous regulatory policies and delivering financial relief to each and every American, which is what we're doing. This was a tremendous burden, a tremendous cost. These people had to live with it, not only refrigerants, but a lot more. And it was making the equipment unaffordable. And the actual benefit was nothing. It just made it worse. So now I'd like to ask Administrator Lee Zeldin, who's followed by Greg, Kevin, and Michael. Is that okay? Lee, go ahead, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. As you know, many Americans were expressing a lot of frustration and anger of this rushed, frantic, reckless sprint by the Biden administration to phase out reliable equipment for grocery stores, for restaurants, and for homes. And the consequences...
Why is the president talking about refrigerators, блядь?
Answering the call, which will lower the cost of living for hardworking American families. Now look at this chart to your far right. Today's actions are saving over $2.4 billion
Bro, camera guy, what are you doing?
for American families. It's safeguarding
The camera guy's asleep, man.
350,000 jobs. Just at supermarkets alone, we're going to see a savings of $800 million, which
Bro,
Americans
why are
will
we
be
not
able to
seeing the
see
graph,
when they
bro?
go and buy their food. The Biden EPA face planted when trying to jam through their restrictions. Americans who wanted to be able to fix their equipment were instead being required to buy far more costly new equipment, and that just doesn't make any sense.
No sense.
Refrigeration trucks were being handed impossible restrictions to meet. And once again, here we are in the Oval Office. President Trump is righting another wrong. At the Trump EPA, we are proudly implementing President Trump's agenda every single day and delivering for the American people.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Lee. Look, on behalf of the Kroger Company, and we
We are Kroger. We are literally Satan. What is up? Satan 2. I am Hitler.
operate about 2,700 supermarkets.
We are Kroger. We believe you should eat cereal for lunch and dinner. It's completely safe. We understand you cannot afford anything else, and that's a good thing, actually.
An orderly transition of equipment reduces both capital costs and operating costs. And at the end of the day, that's good for consumers because we're able to take that and put that into lowering prices, which is the key objective that we have in our business. So thank you very much.
And you were able to save a lot of money and put it elsewhere by not having to do this ridiculous.
Exactly. So it allows us, instead of having to outlay more capital at a faster rate and more operating costs to change that equipment.
Or to replace a refrigerator that's working perfectly, right?
Yeah. So that allows us.
Who will think of the large corporations? We must make sure they don't have to replace their equipment, use old equipment to cool food that you literally need to live.
You know, obviously.
Thank you, sir. I was gonna personally kill and eat the way we do at the Kroger Corporation. I was personally gonna kill and eat 20 children. Okay, now I'm going to eat 10 because we have saved a lot of costs.
These things have a lifespan, but an orderly transition allows us to move through that in a way which keeps the price of groceries down, and that's something that we're desperately focusing on, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next.
It saves them money and jeopardizes safety, and he's trying to say we'll lower prices. Of course, dude.
My name's Kevin Mc.
Corporate guy saying that actually when costs decrease, they also lower prices and sometimes increase salaries. Happened absolutely never in the history of private corporations. It's going to start in the Kroger family.
Daniel, we operate 14 Piggly Wiggly stores in North Florida,
Oh my God.
Alabama, and Georgia. On behalf
What are you
of
di-
NGA, the Piggly Wiggly family, which has about 250
Piggly
stores
Wiggly.
in the South, we want to thank President Trump for rolling this
Yeah,
terrible
yeah.
Biden
Yo, baby.
legislation back, because without it, there would have been a lot of independents out of business. And what people don't realize is it's just not a refrigerant change. It was a equipment change. And those equipment per store, you take a store, our stores run from 25 to 50,000 square feet. You could look for $800,000 to $1.5 million per store to do a change out.
Yeah.
That would have
And
done.
the new
Yeah.
equipment would not be as good as the old equipment.
No, absolutely
No.
not.
It would be inferior equipment because you weren't able to use a
I am Donald Trump. I hate planned obsolescence. Joe Biden, he loved planned obsolescence.
refrigerant.
It was thrown together too fast. The technology's not there yet. It's just way too fast. That's the problem. Good idea, but it's terrible.
Oh, he hated the good idea.
So you would have had all these independents go out of business.
Everybody laughed. Fucked up there. Fucked up with the Piggly Wiggly.
You'd had independents out of business, and you would have seen grocery prices.
Oh my God, he hated it so much. Look at his face. He hated it so much. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Independents go out of business. You'd had independents out of business, and you would have seen grocery prices soar. That's what would have happened if this
you,
would have went
Marcus.
through. President Trump, thank you very much on behalf of every independent in the United States. We cannot thank you enough for what you've done for us. Thank you so much.
I'm Trump. Yes,
The
brother.
bottom line is, so you have great equipment that works incredibly, takes care of your meats and foods and everything else, beautiful refrigeration systems. Take it out and replace it with stuff that barely works, costs a fortune, and it's no good.
No good.
Think of it. And everyone's going to go bankrupt because the equipment is much more expensive on top of everything else. So the big thing now, we got to get rid of the law that was signed quite a while ago. There's no negative impact by having a good system, but there's a tremendous impact. I think it's going to be bad because a lot of people said the other says it doesn't cool your product.
No, there's a problem with it.
It's so crazy. Please.
Michael Gay, have a
He
single
looked
story.
at him. He's like, yo, we sent you talking points. You were supposed to say how the new refrigerators are also inferior to the old ones. He got pissed off that he mentioned it's a good idea, and then he's pissed off that he didn't also mention that the new fridges also suck. Because he wants everything. He wants to say the new fridges suck. They're expensive. They're gonna put out petite bourgeois businesses. Oh no.
Food Fresh in Claxton, Georgia. And exactly, to echo everyone up here, these refrigeration costs, I'm the only store in a county of 10,000. I literally, 2 years ago, put in equipment that should have about 20 more years of useful life. And to replace literally every single piece of equipment in our store would have been unbelievably cost prohibitive, driving up costs as we fight every day to try to keep them as low as we can. You know, if
So petit bourgeois with a monopoly. That's a great point, man.
that cost gets too high, especially attached to a regulation, do you have independent stores closed in neighborhoods that once I go away, you've created a food desert? So it's very beneficial that this happened today.
Thank you, President. You're actually woke. Fighting food deserts.
It's much more complicated than anyone thinks, and to try to rush this through was just the wrong way to go. So we are very appreciative of you today, Mr.
I have one grocer who's a friend of mine. He's pretty big, and he said, I'm going
He's a grocer, even though it's like a mega corporation, probably.
to go ahead of the schedule. And he actually replaced a lot of his equipment. He called me up. He said, this crap doesn't work. It doesn't cool the food. You know about that, right? What a shame. Okay. Would anybody, Kevin, would you like to say something?
I'd just like to say, sir, that this is part of your overall deregulatory agenda, and the big number, 1.2 trillion, is the savings so far. But we're going to be hitting that every year, and we're rolling back stuff that everywhere we look, there's stuff that's as awful as this. And I think that really one of the leaders has been Lee, because the EPA has been a holdup for so many years. But Lee is just out there saving Americans money. And right now, again, if you look at that number, it's $14,000 per family has been saved at reduced cost because of your deregulatory.
Do we agree that Lee is an MVP candidate? MVP. No, he's done a great job, and he sees what's good, and he's a big environmentalist. I mean, he wants to make sure everything's good, but he also sees stupid things.
I love environmentalism. Greta Thunberg, she would love this. They tell me I don't love the environment, but I do. Fuck the refrigerators.
Senator, would you like to speak? Sure.
Well, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you for this because this hits our goal of trying to keep prices low for working families in America, cost of food. I have the Graff family here right behind you. They operate 3 grocery stores in Columbiana County. They had already upgraded their refrigeration systems a few years ago. This was going to cost them millions of more dollars in Columbiana County, which is not an
Just a small grocer, millions of more dollars.
affluent county. It has a grocery store in East Liverpool, Ohio, which is the hometown of the late great Lou Holtz. And these people, not only would it raise
No idea who
food
that is.
costs, but
I
it
don't
might
know.
force them to shut a grocery store down so that the town didn't even have a grocery store. You're saving money for working families and their grocery prices. You're also saving grocery stores so that we don't have food deserts in rural places across our country.
Mr. President, I think it is so important that the people see what you choose to hang right by your desk, which is the Declaration of Independence, which is a reminder that
Nobody asks you to speak, but okay, you're oiling me up. Keep oiling.
government at its core is supposed to function in a way that allows people the opportunity to pursue happiness and not work against them by coming up with regulations that just make it harder to live. From day one, you have been digging into all of these regulations that are issued with no thought to how they affect real people and real small businesses. And thank you for that. Thank you for getting back to the core of what government is supposed to be, and that is working in the interests of the people.
Thank you, Ruthven. So any questions, please?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. How much do you expect that this will save the average American family every week on groceries? And do you expect this change to help Republicans?
Okay, very, very substantial. The average family will save a lot of money, and you can have stores. You know, nobody actually thought of it until it was mentioned this morning. You will have stores closing down in areas where they're not going to have a store. And you really are being forced to spend money, much more money, on much more expensive equipment that really doesn't work. This friend of mine is a very savvy guy, and
Very savvy guy.
big league stuff, and he put some in because he wanted to see, and he said the stuff doesn't work. It doesn't cool the food properly. That's why they call the thing that we're talking about a refrigerant. So that's it. Please, thank you very much.
Iran is negotiating with Oman to set up a formalization of charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Is that acceptable to you?
Well, we're looking at it. We hear about it. They've negotiated. They've had a relationship with them before, and we'll see. We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz, as you know, with our blockade. The blockade's been 100% effective. Nobody's been able to get through. It's like a steel wall. So
Oh, man.
We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. We wiped out their Navy. We not wiped out
Wait, I gotta add. Wait.
their air. I think they're down to about, I would say we knocked out 85% of their missile capacity. It's very hard for them now to build missiles, to build drones. We have great drone technology, anti-drone technology now that frankly we didn't have even 2 months ago. We have unbelievable drone technology, both for making them and also for knocking them down. But look, we're going to either make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon, or we're going to have to do something very drastic. And the people of the country, I believe when it's put to the people of our country, they will all agree that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Yes, Daniel?
Just let me just do one follow-up on that. How do you want things to end up with that?
Well, we want it open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international. It's an international waterway. They're not charging tolls. Right now, they are losing $500 million a day is what it's projected. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of money, but whether it's 500 or 200 or 300, they're losing a lot of money. And the Navy has done an amazing job. And no ship is going to Iran, as you know. No ship is going to, or out of Iran without our approval.
Can they keep their highly enriched uranium?
No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
You spoke the truth when the cost was high, unafraid to die. We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame, we'll fight for the
and now we're making it a much more pro-business, pro-people. You know, regulations are very costly for the people. They're bad for everybody. They're bad for jobs, bad for everything. And we have, as of today, we have more people working in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. To me, it's one of my favorite stats. But we have more people today working in the United States than at any time in the history. And this is with the Iran conflict. That'll end very soon. And when it ends, your gasoline prices will go down lower than they were before. You know, I left Iowa a few months ago, and gasoline was at $1.85 a gallon. And we'll be hitting numbers like that again.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court.
But we'll be hitting them in a much nicer way, by the way.
All right, it's going to be much nicer.
Have a nuclear weapon. Yeah, Daniel?
So one is today.
Yeah, let me just finish with him.
On the Supreme Court, sir, we're still waiting for the decision on birthright citizens.
Yeah, birthright.
You attended the oral arguments of that. Can you just explain?
People are working 5 jobs. It's my favorite state.
It's a big decision that we're waiting for
Stop,
from
Larry.
the Supreme Court. We had a terrible tariff decision. They cost our country a fortune. We're going to most likely have to pay back $149 billion. All they had to do is put a little sentence in there, half a sentence, saying that any monies paid don't have to be paid back. And it's not going to affect because we do the tariffs a different way. The tariffs are what's bringing in all of this money. It's really made our country rich, modernly rich. Now we have another one coming up, which is birthright citizenship. We're the only country in the world that has it. You step into our country and you're all of a sudden a citizen. You come in a certain way. This was not meant for Chinese billionaires to have their children
Yes, the millionaires are the problem.
Citizens of our country. This
Donald Trump, 2026, not the millionaires.
was meant, or other rich people, poor people. This was meant.
Rich people, poor people. Reaper's just standing in the corner, tapping their watch, muttering, "Is this stupid thing working?"
For the babies of slaves, and people have used it. And if this is allowed to stand, it will be a disaster. And you'll have 25% of the people coming into our country coming in through birthright citizenship, and we won't have any control. This decision by the Supreme Court is a very big one. They'll probably rule against me because they seem to like doing that. I'm not happy with some of the decisions. Look at NIL. They're destroying college sports. They're destroying universities.
He's just going off his fucking classic riff right now. He's tired of talking about fucking refrigeration. College sports, birthright citizens, they're making babies, they're bringing them to America, American babies. No, they're not. I say, fuck those babies, fuck them kids.
Literally, if that's allowed to stand, and again, it has to do with the babies of slaves. It doesn't have to do with the babies of very rich people coming into the country. One of them came in with 57 children. Okay, 57 children.
What the fuck is he talking about? But they have to give birth in the States. So what? Somebody came and made 57 kids in the States. Professional birthers. They're sending them over the border. Birthers are coming. The breeders must be made illegal. She came in with 57 twins in her womb. It is true.
We're a laughing stock. And if the Supreme Court approves that decision, they have done a great disservice. It would be a disgrace if the Supreme Court of the United States allows that to happen.
Mr. President, why has today's executive order on AI been postponed?
Because I didn't like certain aspects of it. We're leading China, we're leading everybody, and I don't want to do anything that's going to get in the way of that lead. We have a very substantial on AI. It's causing tremendous good. And it's also bringing in a lot of jobs, tremendous numbers of jobs. Again, we have more people working right now than we've ever had. I really thought that could have been a blocker, and I want to make sure that it's not.
Mr. President, Mr. President.
Wait 1 second.
With President Xi last week, did you discuss AI safeguards?
I did. No, I discussed it. And he acknowledges how well we're doing. We're doing well. He's doing. It's the two of us. The two countries are fighting for it. Other countries are way behind. Way behind. They're fighting for it. They want it. Everybody wants it, but they're way behind. But I didn't want to do it. I postponed that meeting. It was a press conference. It was a signing, actually, because I didn't like what I was seeing.
Mr. President, a few moments ago, the Commission of Fine Arts approved your redesign for your arch. Do you think you need congressional?
Oh, that's good news. I finally get good news from So we're building what's called the Triumphal Arch right opposite the Arlington Memorial Bridge, right by Arlington Cemetery. It's beautiful. It's the Arc de Triomphe would be the one that you would probably know.
You don't know any of the other beautiful ones. Probably only know the French one, you peasant.
A very similar size, slightly larger. It doesn't have to be a lot larger. Otherwise, you'd all be disappointed in me. But it's even.
The people need your opinion on the heavily pregnant man within licking distance of our gay president. He reminds me of this guy. I don't know why, like giving the same vibes. Look at him. Where was he? There he is. That's the vibe he gives me. Crazy, like one of the first viral clips in history, and now he's behind the president, almost as important as Joe Rogan.
President Obama and Biden spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to fix it. They didn't, of course, they couldn't do that. They didn't fix it. It was a mess. So
it was a
mostly
mess.
They turned it off, and we are very close to getting it finished. And when it's finished, it'll be beautiful. It'll be blue water, dark blue. We call it American flag blue because that's the name of the color that we chose, and it'll be, I think, very reflective, very good. I decided to do a much bigger job. I was going to just get it open, but I said, let's do it right. Let's get it open and let's have it be good, because President Obama, President Biden spent hundreds of millions of dollars. It never worked. When they finished it, it was much worse than it was before. It leaked at a higher level. They would have to fill it up every single day with water. The whole thing was ridiculous, so they ended up turning it off, and it became like a garbage dump. Well, it's pretty close to finished. I originally thought I'd do it for $2 or $3 million, just do a base, but now we're fixing up the exterior of it. We're doing so we'll probably be in there for less than $20 million. It was going to take 4 years, $350 million. I'll be doing it in basically a couple of months for less than $20 million. Last week I saw the exterior was in very bad shape as well.
This guy behind Trump was a great PR choice. It makes him look thin and healthy. Oh my God. I mean, I would love to say poor guy, but the fact he's behind President Trump means probably like just by guilt of association that he's a prick. But God damn, man. You just know Trump was pissed off that guy didn't at least wear a shirt. Like he was fucking pissed.
It's probably 3/4 done. We have rain delays. We get a lot of delays, but the key is to have it done before July 4th.
Why does he look like he's melting? He's not melting. Trick the Rogue. He is melt maxing. Okay, as the kids call it, melt maxing. Love my yellow hair and melt maxing.
I like
Kid, aren't you from Washington? Are you looking forward to seeing the big, beautiful pool? There's going to be a pool in Washington. We'll not be able to swim, but it's going to be a pool. I understand him giving a lot of time on the Arc of Victory and on the ballroom. I mean, it's exceptionally stupid, but it for idiots that think that a good statesman is a guy that builds big, beautiful things, it kind of makes sense. This is just like body of water. So it's like it doesn't have the oomph that like chuds would like to hear.
We have a vibrant city again. People are going out. I have a lot of people in the White House. Every time I see somebody, they thank me. And I know immediately what. They thank me for making the city safe. They walk to work now. Before that, they'd take Uber or something, and they felt unsafe even.
That guy behind them has that thing. What's the thing when like one of your intestines drop out of the lining that literally shows on your stomach? Or he has like a crazy belly button. Maybe a belly button because it's there, but I think it's a hernia. Or it's a fucking crazy belly button because it's like exactly where the belly button is.
2% of the population creates 91% of the crime. And the reason I like that is
Weren't there 2 gunmen near the White House since DC became safe? Democrat gunmen! They want to make the city look like it's got crime.
you can handle 2% of the population. Mr. Kroger, I see, do you have stores in Washington? You see a big difference?
We do.
Boy, you said the right thing. That would have been the end of Kroger. All right, okay, we'll do one or two more. Please, be back.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Do you think Democrats are genuine
Almost Kirk the Mr. Kroger, man.
in their focus on affordability, especially after they delivered 40-year high inflation last time they were in power? And then, or do you think they're using it or focusing on it as a means to try and win midterms and begin the impeachment
Yeah,
process?
the second. Look, the Democrats had the highest inflation in the history of our country. When I inherited it, I inherited very high prices. From day one, they said, affordability. Affordability is a word. They're good at words, but I'm good at words too. But they hit me with affordability. I'd just gotten there.
I'm good at words. Also very good at words. That's...
Eggs. We had a news conference on my third day, and they said, egg
You are very good at words.
prices are through the roof. I said, I just got here. Tell me about eggs. And we got the prices down, way down, actually lower than it was 4 years before. But we've gotten everything. The thing that we have now, the only thing that's really of great
Love how like 80% of my chat is just talking about the belly button, the gentleman in the back with the hernia. Never change, guys. You're absolute pieces of shit. I love you.
beef is coming down, and the reason is they put restrictions on beef under the Biden administration, and it takes a while to settle that. But the big thing is, of course, energy. We had the energy way down, but I had to do a journey to Iran. I had to say,
A journey. Bro, it's not about the results. It's about the journey. I just did a little journey to Iran, bro. Just a little journey, man. Trust me, bro.
market today is at the highest it's ever been, and we've had 59 of them, 59 days where the stock market hit all-time highs. We have all-time high job numbers. We have 401ks just hit the highest
They're like almost all of this is not true, but
number they've ever been. Many of you have 401ks. That means you're richer than you've ever been.
say thank you. It's because of me. Can you afford less after you cash out your 401k? Yes, but still richer on paper, bro.
They came up with this word, affordability.
The man in the belly button sending signs. Yeah, can somebody who knows how to read Morse code tell us what the fuck he's trying to tell us? Maybe he's in prison. Maybe he's actually impregnated by Trump. He's like, man, he's making me carry 3 of his babies. I'm actually the surrogate instead of Melania because he wants to make sure the new babies look more like him because all the kids look like Melania. So he put him in a man that looks most like him so that the genetic composition can be as chuddy as possible.
And they use that word, senator, they use
Now you have that in your head. Every single sentence that can ever be said has been said on the stream, I feel like.
they suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. But
Derangement syndrome. Let me take a piss. I
Really,
suffer
they-
from
they-
piss syndrome.
they have
I
bad
got too
policy.
much piss.